All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with
my proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
Okay. Before I do my spiel, that was hilarious just now. What happened with you?
what?
You and I were talking before I started the show, and you're all happy. And the moment I started the show, I could tell you're yelling at somebody.
You can
Because
still
your
see
face
me.
went.
You can still see me. No,
It was straight on parent mode. Like,
literally. No, I always tell my kids, like, I always tell them, hey, podcast time. We changed the time, so now they're actually up and about. So I'm like, hey, I gotta give me an hour. I got y'all, okay? Just give me an hour. And as soon as you were about to start the show, Olivia came in here trying to show me something on YouTube. And I'm like, Olivia, come on now. I just told you, give me an hour. I got you. And it's crazy because, I mean, it's Saturday. I like to spend time with the kids. The weekends, I, spend time with the kids. But I was live streaming this morning on TikTok doing the lettering thing. And she
okay.
had just woke up. she just woke up and she came in with a thing of oatmeal. Was like, Dad, can you make me some oatmeal? Like while I'm while I'm lettering, I'm working on Lumberjacks #4. I'm lettering and I'm live streaming, doing the little tutorial thing. And she's like, Dad, can you make me some oatmeal? I'm like, okay, give me 20 minutes. Give me 20 minutes. Let me finish this. I'll make you some oatmeal. So it's all about balance. It's all
Yeah,
about
yeah.
balance.
Yeah. And they little kids, they don't care. They don't care
They don't
about
care. I
what
like
you
the
need.
haircut, man. I like the haircut.
Didn't I have this haircut last week?
Did you? I didn't notice. It's shorter
I
than
don't know.
it usually is.
Maybe I didn't. I don't know. All right, let's do this properly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics, in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions, respectfully brings to you the 108th episode of the Four Tales podcast. I'm your host, Kyron Silva from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the wine writer of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators here to help you find your next favorite comic. But that might not be what we're doing today, but we'll get into that. But we are live on the Age of the Geekdom Network via Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. And no TikTok today, right?
No.
Okay. So if you're listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast because all your positive reviews and interactions help us reach a bigger audience.
We're
All
gonna get
right.
back. We're gonna get back on TikTok soon, though. We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that back.
I haven't been able to stream on my computer. It's too many resources being used when I'm doing this and streaming to TikTok. It just messes up.
Yeah.
Guido Martinez, hey guys, congrats on the awards. Great idea. I'll be sure to submit my books for next year. I don't know which rewards we're talking about, Guido, but
We
thank
got
you.
a bunch of rewards. We got a bunch of
Yeah.
rewards. It's gotta be. You gotta be talking about the heroic awards.
I mean, he could be talking about the B.E.A.M Awards that we did last year.
He could be, but let's get real here. let's be real here. There's
You know,
a big difference in the marketing for the B.E.A.M Awards and the heroic awards. And I
yeah,
think due to one man,
yeah,
who we have on the show today.
yeah. I think we got to step up our game and match his level of intensity and energy.
Got to.
The person that we're referring to is Rick Duree, uh, the head of Heroic Awards, and the person that we're now looking up to when it comes to award ceremonies. Apparently,
That's right. That's right. We about. I don't know if you know this, Rick, but we're about to pick your brain and learn a lot from you today. I don't know if you know we did back in December. We
mm-hmm.
did what we called the B.E.A.M Awards for indie comics, and we gave out some awards, some certificates. We did some polling, but it was kind of it wasn't a spur of the moment thing. It was just
Oh,
an
it was a
idea.
spur of the moment.
We had an
We
idea.
put it together in like a month.
It really, yeah, we put it together in like a month, and we're like, yeah, let's just do it on the show. So now,
Yeah, I saw the B.E.A.M Awards coming around, and I think my friend Carissa Grant won some. And when I saw B.E.A.M coming through, I mean, I thought your logo was great. I thought the outreach was good. Actually, I love all the indie awards. I'm not going to say anything bad about anything indie. I think we need more high fives and less tear downs. Let's build each other up.
Sure.
But in the end, now I'll be honest here. In the end, there needs to be some kind of honest third party criteria of judging, some kind of scoring, so we can then say of the 3,000 Kickstarter indie comic books that come out every year, these are the ones that we think are the diamonds, that we need to push out to the LCSs across the country. And that's why I thought, Heroic Awards needed to be here. We needed to get a whole bunch of the Kickstarter 2023 comics and a whole bunch of the end of industry professionals that are working professionals and bring them together to say, this is what is going to represent indie this year. This is what represented indie last year. I think that would be needed. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe Heroic Awards ends up, coming and going like a lot of awards. But we'd be okay if the public didn't want it. We'd walk their direction. We're not trying to push this on anybody, but we really believe that we have struck a chord and gotten a lot of response. We have over 100 judges that have volunteered to be working through the books. And when the judges come on, they are professionals in line art, or the professionals in coloring, or they're really reputable storytellers. And they just judge line art, or just judge coloring, or just judge story. So it's not like a panel of 6 that read 500 books and then start arguing in a closet with each other saying which book is better and this is my buddy. We don't do that. We say we want the professionals to follow a rubric, follow a scoring mechanism, be fair across the board. And if there is a couple of judges that have a bias towards a certain publisher, well, because there's 100 of them, then that bias can be washed through. We're all humans. We're gonna make mistakes. We're gonna have our biases. We don't want to, but it's gonna happen. But I thought in the beginning with our board of advisors at Heroic Awards, if we had enough nominees and enough judges, we'd really make a dent and get into a true scoring mechanism for the independent comic community. I think it's needed, and I think the response. I mean, yesterday was our first day for our March Madness style tournament for the People's Choice. We only have one popularity contest award. We have 10 juried, judged awards, but we have one where the people have their voice heard. And I think that's important, to get the people engaged. And we had almost 1,000 people voting yesterday alone. So very, very happy with the response. It has nothing really to do with any, I don't think it has to do with an organization or one person or anything. I think it has to do with the community wanting to speak up. I think we want to have our voices heard, and Heroic Awards is just the medium for us doing that this year.
I agree. And I do see with our B.E.A.M Awards, there was what some people would call ballot stuffing in their choices.
Yeah.
We knew that was going to happen because
Yeah.
when you open it up to anybody and everybody, there's only so much you can do to limit, that occurring. So I think your idea of having judges is a great thing. And let's talk about that. How did you decide these judges, or did you reach out to them? Did they reach out to you? How did that come about?
Yeah, so I've not been in the comics industry that long, 2 years. 2 years is enough to really know a lot. I think if you're doing it every day for 2 years, you pretty much know a lot of people. I also had the honor of being brought under the wing of Chris Hayes with Charter Comics, and I partnered with Carissa and Lori over at Charter to just give me some good advice and walk me through how to do comic cons and really how to do Kickstarters well, and podcasts like this one that we're on. And I think it's because of the collaboration that I had that I really was able to delve a little bit deeper in the community. And then once I built up my, thousands of comic followers, and I followed them, they followed me, I just started asking them who was the best writer or who was the best line art. And I got the people to feedback on who they thought was the best. And then I went out and I asked those people straight up. Almost all this communication was on Facebook because everybody is pretty much on Facebook. Twitter's big too, but Facebook is the kind of the communication medium for a lot of the people on the professional side of indie comics. And I asked them if they would be judges. And I would say probably, 19 out of 20 of them said, yeah. Almost all of them said for sure. And it was an honor to have them on board. And when we got to 100, I was shocked. We got to 50, I was shocked. But then it just kept rolling. And it was good to have that happen, because as soon as we got all those judges, we also got a whole bunch of publishers submitting. And then we had I think we have 220 books submitted.
Wow.
And when you have to read through, maybe there was like 70 best story nominations, and when you have to read through that many books, you need all the judges to be on board for that because it's too much reading. So,
All right, we do have one question from our audience. audience, and we definitely encourage everybody to submit their questions for Rick here. But Fourth Wall Productions LLC says, "Is heroic an acronym for something?"
Yeah, it's honoring exceptional renderings of independent creators. And the reason that I really like this is, yes, it spells heroic, but I really like it because of the independent creators aspect. It doesn't say independent comics. So we can bring in Best Indie Comic Podcast Award, next year. Maybe you guys will be on the nominations. I think it really allows us to broaden our reach. Besides just the comics, what else is there? Maybe there's a place for comic magazines, or media. Yeah, maybe there's another place for all those people who create those Kickstarter videos that are so great that we always watch and when we're backing a Kickstarter. Maybe those people need to have their award as well. So independent creators is a kind of a basket, which I think is going to be good for us.
I love it. I think it's really important and great to have somebody like you who's kind of spearheading and jumping out in front. I know I've received several messages about it. I think I want to say I got emails. I got messages on Facebook when it was coming out, and like I said, the marketing, not necessarily the marketing, I guess, but the push for it is really good. I don't know if I would call it marketing because you're not really trying to sell anything.
Right. It's just
But
grassroots. It's posts and reaching out and saying
yeah,
thanks for the share. I really got some direction from Timothy Fling. He does amazing grassroots outreach, and I just try to copy what is being done well out there in the market. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to roll the wheel down the hill, and that's what we've been doing.
That's why I copy Danny all the time. Like I'm coming up with a series called Ace Sword next week, so I'm just gonna copy whatever Danny does.
Right. Yeah.
you got to make 3,000 TikToks in 3 years. So that's how you do it. Good luck with that. Terrible.
Well, you guys are getting some popularity, and I love your energy and that you're pushing this your podcasts and your books. I think we all need to keep hitting at it, keep going at it. And I also really love the what Advent is doing with their what's it called?
The
Epiphany Engine.
Exactly. Epiphany Engine. Love it. I'm definitely going to buy them. Absolutely going to be involved in as a purchaser, as a reader and a purchaser of that, backer of it, because that needs to happen more. And why it hasn't happened more yet is very surprising in the indie community. We need more of those groupings together of characters. I actually wrote some articles for Comics Illustrated back, a few months ago. And one of them was about, was on writing comics, and I put a part there where it was collaborating between writers, having your characters here and your characters here come together in a crossover. Not always the easiest. So I get my hats off to Advent for doing this, and let's make it really great. It's going to be tough. People's feelings are going to be hurt because their character is going to be drawn wrong or misrepresented or whatever. And this happens when you do crossovers, but they're going to do their best. And I'm going to back it. I'm going to be supportive of the crossovers. I think that kind of stuff needs to happen more in our community.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think one thing about the technology today is that it makes it so much easier it makes it easier in theory to collaborate, but because there's so much stuff going on, it kind of makes it harder to collaborate too. There's so many, different groups and different, people got different ideas, and everybody wants to do their own thing. So it's definitely dope and honorable what Tony is trying to do, and I'm glad we're both involved, and I'm glad to hear that you're going to be supporting because they're definitely going to need it.
Well, I think there's enough people. I mean, it's all about sharing audience. It's all about marketing together, getting the word out together. One of the amazing parts of the H.E.R.O.I.C Awards, and this is absolutely amazing, is we got so many media partners on board that have said, hey, you know what? Yes, we will also, carry it live, your award ceremony on April 27th at C2E2. April 27th, C2E2. I'm saying it again. It's going to be carried live.
I'll help you out. Here we go. There you
Oh, there you
go.
go. So we're going to have maybe, must be 7 or 8 different channels carrying it live. And just very honored for Al Mega over there at Comic Crusader. He's been a huge supporter of this program, and he's going to be the MC with Klep, his partner. We're going to have, you can just look on our site and see all the media partners. If I start naming some and don't name others, I'll be mad. But there's about 11 so far. And our sponsors have been also backing us really great. Gemini, BCW, Onishi Press, Antarctic Press. I have to speak up for Antarctic here. I was on the phone with them, and they said they wanted to be a sponsor. Sure, that's easy. But what we really got into was, how do we help these indie comics actually get into the LCSs, the local comic shops across the country? And there's nothing that's going to be 100% hard, fast guarantee. Sometimes maybe the Heroic Award winners might not want to partner, but if they want to partner and Antarctic wants to partner with them, they meet up and they say, yes, we're going to get you national distribution. That kind of a
Awesome.
get past the red tape and get right to the top with that kind of a negotiation process is what Heroic Awards is bringing to our winners. I mean, can you imagine having, I don't know, 6 different comics in the fall hitting comic shops across the country, and they have their little emblem there of Heroic Award winner for whatever category. I mean, that kind of thing makes me happy, because those books are going to be purchased. Those are going to be bought, and we're going to get our stories told across the country. That's what this is about.
Yeah. And as someone who's had his books distributed through Antarctic Press, they do get bought. You will see them get bought from comic stores. So definitely that's amazing for your winners to get.
The
Absolutely.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And everybody has to be agreeing. I mean, there's none of this is one thing about independent comics is you have to, it's all grassroots. It's all voluntary. It's all libertarian, if you will. We're all just trying to make it work from our own perspective. And perhaps a comic person is going to be happy staying with their own distribution, and so perhaps they're going to be happy going with Antarctic. But this is just what we're trying to build with Heroic Awards. We're trying to build collaboration. We're trying to build all these judges and all these nominees and all this opportunity, a whole bunch of categories of awards. And I think if we hit the ground running, hit it hard, and hit it professional, Al Mega's really into having this award ceremony be the top dollar Oscar-like award. We have amazing music. We have amazing videography. I mean, it's you got to watch April 27th. You got to be on to watch it. And if you're at C2E2, just walk into our auditorium. We're going to have the 300-person auditorium available. We're going to be doing it in that big room. So just walk on in and have a seat. There's door prizes. We have lots of sponsors giving items away. Diamond Select Toys donated some items to give away. So I mean, come on in and let's have some fun.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if you had a live portion. Like, I know most people are going to, who aren't able to attend are going to be able to watch it online. But I didn't know if you had, a space for people to actually come in and watch it. And that's good to hear that you got the 300 person
Yeah,
auditorium.
it was
Putting on a show.
It is going to be a show. It was tough getting a brand new awards program. I mean, we're brand new to get our inaugural year carried in maybe the second largest comic convention in the country. There, C2E2, big honor. Hats off to them for seeing us. Reed Pop, their management organization, for seeing us as a winning group to bring on board. We're very happy with that, and they put us on a great spot Saturday night. I mean, who can beat Saturday night, right? That's the time. So honored.
Absolutely, absolutely. Other thing I love is that this gives like a real opportunity for indie creators to kind of put a face to the names and to really know, to see who it is that they need to be reaching out to, who has these, who has the knowledge and the connections to kind of take their ideas and comics to the next level. And sometimes that can be the toughest thing, like I said earlier, with the technology. There's all this information out there, but you don't necessarily know which path might be the best for you. And so I think it's, in my experience, it's good to have people to talk to say, hey, look, this is what I did and this is what I know works for me,
Mhm.
instead of you
Yeah.
know typing something in Google and not knowing, spending 6 months working on something that just isn't really for you. So I think that's one of the best things about it, in my opinion, so far that I can see.
So one of the things that I think we have to be honest with ourselves about with the independent comic community is and we're an eclectic group, but we're also somewhat smaller than we'd like to be, and we need to really reach out there and find new people. And I guess one of the questions I would ask you guys is, because you guys are creators as well, what do you think the next big thing is for indie comics to really take the next step up? I know some people have been posting about what they would do different if they were Marvel and DC. Listen, we're not Marvel and DC, and there's no saving them. Okay, it's just too bad. It's just so sad, but there's no going back to. I hope, but maybe the indie comics is going to be the next big thing. And how do we get more readers? What do you think?
I mean, personally, I've always felt like as the indie comic community, we don't focus on the next generation enough. We focus on our generation, our groups, and what we want.
Yeah.
But a lot of what's been lost that we grew up on, and the reason why we love comics is we got into this as young children. And
Yeah.
a lot of comics have shied away from that because they feel like, oh, well, children won't read comics, they'll only read manga. I'm like, well, manga is still a comic. It's just a different form of a comic. Manga is still a comic, though. So that for me is the biggest thing is in order for us to succeed and keep growing, is we need to push towards making comics that are accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
I like the idea of bringing up manga, whatever, however you want to say. I'm American. Manga. There you go. My daughter, this was 2 years ago. I said, Ava, I'm writing this comic book. Will you read it? And she goes, is it manga? And I said, no, it's a comic book. She goes, no.
Yeah, but that's the thing. There's a
My own
stigma that
daughter.
it's because it's a comic book. Our kids don't want it. And it's like, well, it's the same thing as what you're reading. It means a different story type, different storytelling, but
I think
it's
it's tough. I think that it because I got teenagers and they love manga, and they don't even read Ace Blade,
yeah.
so but at the same time I've invested time to teach them. I think it's
Yeah.
education, too. So literally, um I, I don't know if this is more beneficial to me or them, but I've taught them about my oldest daughter is learning how to color comics. She
Uh-huh.
actually colored her first pages that Kyron drew, for a little comic that we've been putting together. My middle daughter is learning the logistics of how to ship comics. My son is learning inventory. Like, they all
Good.
are learning different parts, and now they're interested in the actual stories that these people are selling. Now that they see that books
Yeah.
are being sold, they're interested in the story. So they're not like, okay, let me see if I want to create a villain for this Ace Blade, against Ace Blade, whatever. So I think it was tough in the beginning because most indies are marketing to people our age
Yeah.
because that's who can buy comics. It's harder to get in front of the kids because nobody has the marketing budget to beat out,
Well, if
Devil
if
Dinosaur
you
and all that stuff.
if you look at the manga, what they're doing right, okay, it's they're doing right with anime. When we
Mhm.
were kids and we got into superhero comic books, it was because I was watching X-Men on TV every Saturday morning.
Exactly.
I think comics is seen by a lot of people as the book form of the cartoon,
Mhm.
whereas the manga is seen as the book form of the anime.
Mhm.
And if there were more on TV, then our kids would be reading more of our books. And I would also say it doesn't really have to be the big two company brands. It doesn't have to be Batman again or the X-Men again, because all these animes, nobody knows the characters. They're just new stories. They're just more stories. And so it's all about storytelling for me. When I got into comics, you said we got into it when we were kids. I got into it when I was 30. I got
Mhm.
into it late. I said, what's this big thing about comics? I got to start reading. And so I looked up what the best stories were and I read the best stories, and I was in love with comics because of the storytelling. I
Yeah.
think comics are the best medium to tell stories. You get them, it's quick, it's fast paced. You can jump in anywhere. You don't have to read number 1. You can read number 7. You still be okay with the story a lot of times.
Mhm.
You can jump in with a graphic novel, or you can go with the paperbacks. The comic. It's really easy to get into comics as a medium, meaning both creators and readers. We need to get more on TV, and I don't know what the option is there, but I think that's how we get the kids involved.
Wouldn't you say though the idea of just saying we need to get on TV is a little outdated? Like in the chat, we have Serial Connection say kids want digital everything. We need to be on TV, but we also need to be on YouTube and like
Oh,
Danny does on TikTok. So it's more just we
yeah.
need to be in front of people.
Yeah,
Just
I wasn't meaning TV like Channel 4. I was meaning TV like YouTube. And I
yes.
wasn't meaning TV like podcasts and newscasts. I was meaning TV like an actual animated show. So yeah, generic word.
No, I think it makes a lot of sense to get kid. I know, like just like a lot of us, I tell a story all the time. I didn't read comic books until I was 20 because I knew Justice League, Batman,
Right.
Superman, Ninja Turtles. I watched
Oh
every
yeah.
cartoon, and I still do. So I think it would be great if some indies can put together some consistent animation,
That's the other
or
thing
or
is
just
consistency.
or some different kind of storytelling that's accessible to people online that I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm definitely
You
gonna
know,
figure
if you were whichever organization, whether it be Epiphany Engine, Goes Animated,
Mm.
whatever it is, that's a big organization, a grouping of producers that can get their stuff produced by some cartoon animating company, an animating company, some company, and get their stuff on digital. I think that's going to be a game changer for indie.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the way to get into the homes across the country, and then we're going to sell more books.
Netflix, reach out to us, please.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah,
But
I think Hulu's been doing very well with their anime. Netflix has been as well. But if we're gonna be drawn in cartoon form, that's fine too. It doesn't matter what
yeah,
form it is. It just has to be in people's homes. And I think YouTube could be a good carrier for it too, for sure.
Absolutely.
Back
Absolutely.
in the day, maybe it was 2013 or 14. I was a TV producer for a show called Tattoos and Turnpikes, and it's basically my buddies, motorcycle riders, tattooists, and they would go across the country and they would get tattoos. Sometimes they wouldn't know what they were going to get. They would just go and meet a celebrity tattooist and they just get something. They'd be driving on the highway and their bike would break down, and it's a little bit dramatic and it's also really cool. So you guys should definitely watch it on YouTube, called Tattoos and Turnpikes. But the reason I bring it up, not only because it's an amazing show, but it's what you have to do to get out there. You have to get, $80,000, $100,000, a team of really good, Hollywood type cinematographers, or in this case, really good artists who do animation. And we have to just produce some great shows. And Tattoos and Turnpikes actually won a Telly Award
Mm.
for our work. I was honored to be part of it, and it is a great show. We need that more in the indie community in our medium, which is in the coloring and the line.
It might be. I know animation is the ultimate goal, but I think it might be easier to do live action for a lot of these indies. It might be easier to get one of these cosplayers, these costume makers to I think animation, the last budget I've seen for something like simple, like a 5 minute animation, is like $50,000, $75,000, whereas you could shoot a pretty good short film for 10. So I don't know. I don't know. That might be something else to consider too. Um, but it's time. It's time, Rick. It's time to do quick takes. I don't know if you've seen the show before, but at this time we always do quick takes, which is a rapid fire Q&A session,
Sure.
where we grill our guests on their deepest, darkest social media secrets. So I'm ready when you are, Kyron. I just thought of a funny bit. I'm gonna do it next time. Next time I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a costume change during the during the quick. I'm gonna do it next time. I just thought of that. Okay. All right,
oh
Rick.
wow, costume changes now. All right.
All right. All
I'm
right,
ready.
Rick. So we got 5 questions for you. You got to answer off the top of your head, and these questions are just to get artists to know you a little bit better.
I'm
And each
ready.
each question you're gonna have 45 seconds. So first, I believe, just going through your social media, that like myself and Kyron, you are a Star Trek fan. I
Yeah.
want to know which, in your opinion, what is the best Star Trek series, and why?
Next Generation, no question. I was watching the Enterprises, the actual model Enterprises, the ones that are 5 feet by 4 feet that hang up, and they used them for the show. They were selling those, and I thought that the original Star Trek model would sell for the most money. It actually sold for the second most money. The one that sold the most was the Next Generation Star Trek. That's the one that everybody calls back to. I mean, the show was on at like 10:30 at night, and it was the number one watched show on TV. It was really a groundbreaking. The 90s were amazing for TV. It really, really was. I loved the X-Files, and Star Trek was right in that same vein. We had Supernatural that came out right around the end of the 90s. I mean, I'm just really pleased with that era. I don't know if I would say that it would do as well today. It was a little bit too much emotional, a little bit more dramatic than exciting. And the new Star Treks are like lightning and lasers and everybody's dying, and that's fine. That's kind of like the Halo show. But I really like the Next Generation. I think it's going to go down as the best of all time.
It's a solid pick. I can't argue with the Next Generation. I'm a Voyager guy myself because that was my introduction into Star Trek. But love Next Generation for sure. All right. Question number 2, and this one might be tough. If you had to get rid of one of these two choices, and you could only keep the other one for the rest of your life, which one would you keep? Which one would you let go? Craft beer or barbecue?
Easy. Barbecue you keep, baby. You gotta keep. I am the sauce guy. Okay. I am a condiment addict, no question. I'm a barbecue judge for the St. Louis Barbecue Society. In fact, it was because of my barbecue judging that I was able to really put down some groundworks on how to get the H.E.R.O.I.C Awards judging rubric put together. So in other awards, it's kind of like I said earlier, people are just in a closet bantering on which is their favorite comic, but we really needed to have a rubric set. And it was because of my barbecue judging that I really understood how awards are run in other industries besides comics. And I thought we could take from them the best of those other award programs and bring it into comics. So that was the foundation. And you got to keep barbecue in place. No question. It's growing huge. Craft beer, awesome. Great American story, even though, of course, there's a huge craft beer market in Germany, but it's a great American story over the last 20 years. But no way. Barbecue, hands down.
I'm with you on that. You might even be able to incorporate it a little bit if you, whatever the comic book is, whichever one tastes the best with barbecue on it. No,
what? Are you trying to eat a comic?
You don't want to eat the comics? You don't want to have a taste test?
No.
If we can make edible comics, that might be the next move. Edible comics might be the next move. No, okay.
Wow.
We'll throw that one in the trash. We'll throw that one in the trash. Okay.
I can't with you right now. I can't. I
did not know where that came from. My mind's going back to scratch and sniff stickers from the 80s.
I can't, dude.
Oh, wow.
A barbecue flavored comic? Come on, Kyra. Don't tell me you wouldn't buy it just to try one. Come on now.
Oh,
you know what,
Lord.
Danny has an option here, okay? Because it used to be you'd have gum in the baseball packs. You had
that's different though than eating the baseball pack.
You had scratch and sniff stickers in the Cracker Jacks. I mean, having something edible or aromatic in these books, maybe we should get. Yeah, okay,
sure, yeah. I'm totally fine with that, but not eating the actual comic. I draw the line there.
Okay, all right. Question number 3.
Ooh, what about comic book cereal?
Comic book cereal.
Yeah. Yeah, what if the H.E.R.O.I.C Awards winner for best story for comic book of the year, right? What if the comic book of the year gets a deal with like Post or Kellogg's?
There you go.
Make the indie comic book cereal. I would eat it. Right now I'd go right over there and buy it right now. It'd be awesome.
Absolutely eat the Ace Blades. Ooh,
what it might be. Manny, I know you. I see you in the chat. I need you to work with your behind the scenes people with your comic connection, your cereal connection. Let's start this.
Hey, absolutely, we can make it happen.
You think I'm playing? That dude actually has connections with cereal companies.
I believe it.
Now, wait, I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna break up the quick answer here. This has been a big problem in my research and trying to get the best awards program that we could get. and the advisory board has been amazing in battling all these different ideas. But the audience, to be honest, the indie audience isn't in agreement on what is and what is not indie. I think one of the big problems that we're running into as an indie community is we don't even really know per se what it is we are.
Yeah, we've had that discussion a lot on the show, actually.
Yeah.
Like
So-
where the barrier is between
Yeah.
indie and self-publishing, and yeah.
So I mean, I just said let's make a cereal, right? For Blade to have your little Blade marshmallows, right, in the cereal all cut out. I can see it. So, but if we get it produced by Kellogg's, is it indie anymore? This has been a battle. What do you think?
Yeah,
I think I just recently was listening to Todd Johnson, the creator of Tribe, and he was talking about how, you know, comics back in the day was all about, you know, finding different advertisers to, you know, help push your comics. You know, a lot of the budgets came from, you know, having different people that invest, you know, whether it's printing or you know, whatever it is. Milk, they had the whole got milk thing that happened back in the day. And you know, I think that as indies we got to do those kind of things to keep making comics, because that's the goal, to keep continue making comic books. And you know, listen, I guarantee you we're gonna have some Ace Blade marshmallows. that's it's gonna happen. I just put it on my bucket list in my brain. We gonna have it. Okay. All right.
I think we do need to try to hammer out where the barrier is between independent comics and small market comics, small publisher comics. I mean, there is a very big gray area there. And with so many people self-publishing their books and then moving up to maybe a Scout or a Boom Studios, like we need to know where you stop at. What's indie, what's self-publishing.
So what we did for H.E.R.O.I.C Awards, and again, hey, we could do it wrong. We could be wrong, but this is what we wanted to start with for year one. We were threw at the wall. It stuck. And so whatever sticks on the wall is what we're going to go with this year. We decided that whatever was more than 1% of the comic market, well, that's just not indie. But if anything was less than, if a publisher was less than 1% of the market, then it's indie. Now, is 1% the answer? Is 2% the right answer? I mean, I can't tell you. I know when we talked about craft beer just now, when Sam Adams was trying to be seen as craft still, and then every year they would make more and more beer. And so they would change the word of craft to meet their max production levels so that they were still craft. And they did it for 10 years. And they bought Dogfish, and now they're just really huge, but they're still craft because they changed the word what craft is. This is what I say. If you're over 1% of the market, you're not craft and you're not indie. And if you're under 1%, then you are. Now, people are going to hate me for that, but I don't know. What are you going to say? I mean, you have to draw the line somewhere. It needs to be a bright line. It needs to be not a gray, wishy-washy thing. People need to be able to calculate it. It needs to be a metric that we can calculate. And so that's what we chose. And maybe next year we'll say 2.5%. I don't know. Maybe we'll do what Sam Adams did. I can't say, but right now I think that's a good number. And maybe the audience that's in the chat can give us a better heads up.
I mean, it's an ongoing debate.
The chat always gets it right. You ask the chat any question, they're always getting the right answer every time.
Yeah, Sean Mack has a point. He said it's not indie anymore if a major corporation is investing resources. If Mark Zuckerberg decided to release a comic that would not be an independent comic, I agree with that on Zuckerberg, but I don't know if I got.
But then, okay, going back to Sean, then we're saying, well, what are we considering a major corporation? Because everybody's gonna have different ideas of what that can be.
I was gonna say,
that's what I say. It's going to be an ongoing debate.
Down the street you know, if I get the mom and pop store down the street to invest, you know, I don't know. That's but anyway, all right, let's get through these quick takes have become
it's not
quick. I need a timer. I need to bring back the timer somehow. That's what it is. I need to bring back the timer.
All right, so this one is going to be a long one too. I can already tell. But Rick, so I want to say you have a bachelor's degree in finance, right?
Yeah.
And I know that there's a lot going on with especially Bitcoin these days. I know you've talked about Bitcoin. I had an idea for this thing called H.E.R.O.I.C Coin, right?
Ooh.
It would be, you know, its own.
I'm in.
it would be.
Your question cannot be longer than the 45-second time limit.
Shut up, Kyrie. We talking here. It would
The
be
answer
a
is
coin.
yes.
It would be a coin that went with the comic books that you're producing, and then, it would work with a company like CGC or CBCS to have them graded. In each book, you get the hero coin, and the value of the book, the rarity of the book goes up and down. Okay, anyway, either way, long story short, would you, with your financial expertise, have any advice on crypto at all for the indies in the comic space?
I have great advice for you. You ready? This is the advice.
Mhm.
Crypto is not a currency
Okay.
because you don't use it to buy stuff. And I don't want the chat to say, oh, but you can. And I'm like, oh, yeah, when was the last time you used your Bitcoin in the line at Starbucks or even online? When was the last time you used your Bitcoin or your Dogecoin or your, classic, whatever, all of them? You don't. And so therefore it's not a currency. If I have gold bars and I have them in my house, it's not a currency. I'm not using it to buy my Netflix transactions. And so, first off, it's not a currency. Second off, it's hilarious. Crypto is hilarious. It goes up and down in 400, 500%, down 3,000%, whatever the percentages it can go up and down, it does it. And it's fun to watch. It's fun to, be like a day trader, kind of like a gambler. But it's tough to say. I mean, I had a mining machine. I still do, actually. I've got back the money I spent for the mining machine, which is great. My brother and I are in on that, and we have Ethereum and we have Doge. But to be honest, it's not yet. Maybe it's the future. It's not yet.
Right. Hey, I'm with you.
I gotta address this comment though. Sierra Nova Comics said I just used Bitcoin to buy some Ace Blade cereal. That's comment of the day right there.
There you go.
That's awesome. Put that in there. Sierra Nova, man, that guy, good words there. He might be able to write a good comic. Maybe we should because he knows how to write a quick book like that. He's probably a good writer.
Absolutely. Okay. Question number 4. I love, and this kind of ties in with our question about barbecue earlier. I see you posting different meals and stuff all the time on social media. I love food. It's the one thing that I travel for. I don't like traveling, but my wife loves it. But I will travel to try some food wherever it is. I want to try their food. So I want to know, what is your perfect meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? What is your perfect breakfast?
Oh man. So again, I was a sauce guy. I had a company in the past. It was called Beer Sauce Shop. I was one of the co-founders, and we had this jalapeno blackberry jam, and the jalapeno was just spicy enough to balance off the sweet from the jam, and it was just a salty, sweet, spicy concoction that was just glorious. And we used that on eggs, on toast with butter and your bacon. And it was the best breakfast sandwich I've ever had in my life. No question. My brother had it later because I said, this is the best. He said it was the best he ever had in his life because you have that spicy sweet combination. Whoo, amazing. So that's the breakfast for sure. 45 seconds is over.
Yeah, that was beyond 45 seconds. But I haven't had breakfast, so I'm hungry. I want to hear the rest now.
I gotta find this sauce, man. I would love to try that.
Oh, it is amazing. Who puts jalapeno in jam? But guess what though? I was over in Indianapolis. I'm going the next week again. My wife has a job as a national hospital machine implementer. I don't speak the language. I'm doing robotics over here. That's what she does. She's brilliant on that. And they had this place. They gave us the special drink, and it was a dragon fruit with jalapeno in it. So again, you had the fruit and the spice. It's a thing. It's a thing now. I like it.
I'm gonna try it. I don't like I don't do spice too well, but I would try it. I would definitely try it one time at least.
Just as a tiny touch. It's not even really spicy. Just kind of it balances.
Okay. All right. Question number 5. As a lot of our audience knows, we do another show called Top 5 Live, where we always do a top 5.
Don't say
we have a show, Kyron.
Not part of that show.
Top 5 Live, and we always ask our guests for the 5th question to do a top 5 list off the top of our head. So, I want to know, just off the top of your head, what, in your opinion, is the top 5 awards. Now you can do this as like the most prestigious awards or just the most coveted awards. Just the top 5 awards in your mind.
For which medium?
In all mediums. So you can go like the Oscars, Tonys, all of them. Just what are the top
Hmm.
5 awards? Um, you can even do like
Yeah.
the Medal of Honor.
Well, I think the number one is the B.E.A.M Awards. The
B.E.A.M
B.E.A.M Awards
There we go.
is number one. And I don't think it needs to be a 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys should take it all. I mean,
Hey,
We got to put Heroic Awards somewhere up there too. I mean,
Roka,
close
1 a.m. 1B, 1
close
a.m. 1B. I'll take it. I'll take it. That's a
Yeah.
great list. That's a great list right there. We don't even have to, we don't even talk about anything else. All right, all right.
I will say, I'm impressed about this. When I was, I don't know, this is 20 years ago. I was watching the Oscars religiously every year. I loved the idea of the red carpet. I lived in LA. I kind of like felt the energy of like the silver screen back in the day. Harrison Ford, Bill Murray, some great actors. I just loved that energy. But then it got all political and it got sucky and nobody watched it anymore and it sucked. This last year, just now, this last week, whatever it was, just recently, they went back to what they used to do, and I was impressed with that. So this gave me a little bit of hope. Can a stable, fallen group like Marvel and DC, like the Oscars, can they come back and do something great? And I think that the answer is yes. I think we should give them some grace to come back from their fall. They're just people trying to do people things, and we don't have all the answers, and they don't have all the answers. But my recommendation would be, I hope for greatness to come back in the big two, and maybe it's by them grabbing Ace Blade and putting it next to Batman and saying, now we have some great storytelling. It could be that they grab some indie stories and they bring it into their realm. I don't foresee it being the same 17th Spider-Man version again. I don't think it's going to stay the way it's going to be.
I agree with you. And I've recently opened my possibilities to something like that. So, but either way, thank you for doing that, man. That was a great quick takes. Definitely got some insight there, and we appreciate that.
Yeah.
no
All right,
sponsor this week.
This week, quick takes is sponsored by. I don't have nothing. I have nothing.
All right.
The H.E.R.O.I.C Awards.
The
Hey, there you go.
H.E.R.O.I.C Awards. There we go.
Another one of our sponsors was Mad Cave Studios. I love these people who sponsor, and they've been in the indie community for decades, and they've done really good stuff. And what I'd like to see next year is, and I mean, we haven't had a whole bunch of time because we've been building the awards, but I'm going to spend more time on sponsorship acquisition next time. I'd like to see some stuff like tabletop RPG sponsors, or Boeing would be nice. I'll get Boeing as a sponsor. I don't care. I'm just kidding you. I think we can branch out beyond the comics. The reason I bring up Boeing and Raytheon is because they were part of South by Southwest sponsorship, or one of them was one of these big war machine maker companies was a sponsor of South by Southwest, and South by Southwest is an indie event, but they lost a lot of their music supporters, music entrants. They didn't even come and apply, or they backed out at the last second from Ireland. And it says St. Patrick's Day weekend, so I'm bringing it up. This is the question, when is it okay for an indie awards program to have a sponsor that ends up being a big or controversial or whatever sponsor? I mean, when is it okay to, have them also support independent creators? Or do we start canceling people? I don't know. What do you say?
You know me, I don't think cancel culture is a real thing. I think you're gonna have people who are outraged by certain things. You're gonna have people who are, more sensitive to certain things, and of course, you got to take those things into consideration. But 9 times out of 10, like you said, people are just people, and and we're learning and growing, and we gotta, of course, take other people into consideration. But we also have to do. We have to run our businesses. We have to be able to continue making things, especially in arts and things like that, because these stories are important. But I will say, man, thanks. This is a great talk. One last time, tell us about April 27th, Heroic
Yeah.
Awards. Everybody
Well,
should come out and
so
we'll close
the
the show.
important thing is right now is supporting the People's Choice Award. I want the people to get their voice heard. Like I said, almost 1,000 votes in the first 24 hours. But then they have to vote again next week for round 2. I don't know how this is going to go. I mean, how do you get 1,000 people to come back every 3 or 4 days for round 2 and round 3 and so forth? But that's what we're trying to do, is to bring the people to really get down to the People's Choice. And then that award will be given on April 27th at 4:30 in the evening is when we launch at C2E2 Central Time. And covered it in many of our channels, our media partners. Hopefully you guys will carry it as well. And, it's going to be live. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. Al Mega is going to do his weepa, response. You guys know Al. He's hilarious, great MC. And we're going to do some great cinematography, interviews. Hopefully we'll have award winners in the audience. That's our goal. And they'll come up on the stage and they'll receive this massive, 13-inch gold medal, 5.5 pound, massive trophy. And when I first was thinking about Heroic Awards, I said, well, you got to have the best trophy, and then that's over. That's all you got to do. So we had to get the best trophy, and you guys got to see it. It's amazing. We're going to put images out for it in April to kind of bring it to the awards. So you guys will see it.
Love it.
And so where can people keep up with you as far as social media is concerned?
Richard Duree on Facebook, Rick Duree as well. H.E.R.O.I.C Awards, my comic book series Orphan Bloodline, which I love. I'll just plug it again. I love the story. I'm turning my comic series into a TTRPG as well. That's why I mentioned that earlier. So I think trying to cross mediums is a way we can, as independent people, we can really get into the market and cross audiences. But you can reach me on any of those channels. My cell phone's available online. I mean, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm totally available. That's what I'm trying to say. My wife, she'll screen calls all the time. I don't know the last time I've screened a call. If you call me, I will answer the phone and we'll talk. Message me on Facebook. We'll chat. I'm very easy to hold of.
Nice. Love it. All right. And Danny, where can people keep up with you?
Absolutely. The best place to find me is our website, Fourth Wall Pros, where you can get all our comics. And then if you want to find me on social media, the Ace Blade on all social media platforms. Kyron, where can people find you?
You can check me out at tauruscomics.com. I am on all social networks at Taurus Comics. And hey, if you are in the Sacramento area next week, Saturday at noon, I think we're doing it at noon, 1 p.m. Sorry, I don't know times. 1 p.m. Come down to Empire's Comics Hall. I'll be doing a workshop where I'll be talking about character designs and for comics and graphic novels. It's going to be about a half-hour to hour show. Whatever you want to call it. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I will be nervous as hell. So bear with me on that.
Just imagine I'm there. You can put me on FaceTime and we'll work together. I'll work you through
Hell
it.
no, I'm not.
I want to call out to the chat. You guys have been really active. I love that. No, the trophy will not be made out of cereal. That's not going to happen. But if you guys could please, and I'm asking really earnestly, share the post that H.E.R.O.I.C Awards has made. Share
Definitely.
the Choice Award. Share the videos that our nominees have created for their own books. Let's get this stuff seen, because the more that we're able to be seen, the more that we can grab some energy around this. And if H.E.R.O.I.C Awards does well, what does that mean? That means that we're going to get more sponsors. We're going to have more entrances. Next year, we're going to break 500 on our nominees for sure. And what does that mean? Well, that means that when you see a book that has the H.E.R.O.I.C Award stamp on it, you're going to know it's indie, and you're going to know it's going to be good. And that's what you want. You want to know what's good and what's indie. And hopefully we bring that to the audience. And so please help us share and bring light to these diamonds that are out there. We're trying to really bring light to these creators and have them, maybe they'll make some money now. Maybe we can help them make some money. That's part of it.
That's the ultimate goal right there.
That's all. Yeah, you want to be able to make some money with your passions, and we want to see less indie people fall into the wayside. And so let's support them. And one way to do that is to share the book that you want to win. Whatever book you want to win People's Choice, share those screenshots.
Yep, absolutely.
And one way you can support us at this podcast is by going to our website, fourtalespodcast.com. That's the number 4, TALES podcast. You can go listen to our previous episodes. You can check out our YouTube channel there, buy us some merchandise, support us financially there. If you are watching us on the Age of Geekdom Network, make sure you check out 5 Star Fridays every Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Come back next week, though, where we are going to have the Guna Studios on. We're going to talk about their latest backer kit, some mutant-related stuff they are selling on Backkick along with their comics. But until next time, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.